Hey, this is Bob Flaherty, the electric principal, and today we're doing a new adventure here. And I have along with me my really good friend, Andy Danner. Say hi, Andy.
Hey, good morning. Hi, Bob.
Hi. And so, hey, just what we're doing today is we're going to go to a Tesla supercharger, right? In the state of Colorado right now. There are 5 Tesla superchargers, most of them in the middle of nowhere, as you can see by this map I'm putting up. Well, they're located where there are no other chargers, is exactly where they should be, right? Because it doesn't make sense to put Tesla superchargers that have what's called a magic dock that allows you to charge cars like, you know, a Hyundai or a Kia or a Volkswagen or an Audi. Andy's owns an E-TRON I used to own. I sold it to him. Loves the car. Do you love the car?
I absolutely love the car. 2020 E-TRON Sportback Premium Plus Package. Love it.
There you go. And I would not have been able to do what he just did. I've owned way too many cars. It's all a blur. But the bottom line is what we're going to do today is we're going to go to a Tesla supercharger. Andy, you've never been to one, have you?
I have not. This will be the first trip there, Bob.
Because Andy hasn't owned a Tesla.
I have not.
You don't like Teslas, right?
I'm not a big fan.
Okay. So, but he is a fan of Audis. And what we're going to do is take a look at how the supercharger with a magic dock that will allow us to plug into this particular car, an IONIQ 5, my IONIQ 5, by the way, and we're going to see how fast it charges. Because the real question here is that, you know, this car, an IONIQ 5, you know, or an EV6 or whatever you do from Kia or Hyundai, has great charging speeds, right? 800 volt architecture. You know, if I pull this car up warm into Electrify America, I'm going to start at 230 kilowatts, and it's going to go all the way through 50 or 60% of the pack before it really has a substantial drop below 150. But you know, the thing is that the chargers by Tesla aren't really made to work with this architecture. So the word on the street is it's not going to work as well. Well, my goal is to see how well is it going to work. And, you know, basically, Andy and I have about a 50-mile drive to get there. And what I've done is I've actually set the guidance to go find an Electrify America place, because it doesn't show up. Tesla doesn't show up on the maps yet when you're looking for chargers. You know, that's something that's coming down the road, right? Because we've all gone that direction. Even VW last week went to the direction of we're going to plug into the North American charging standard, which is Tesla, right? So I'm going to plug into that. And the reason I'm doing that first is I want this battery to preheat. You know, one of the great things about IONIQ 5s or IONIQ 6s or EV6s is they charge really fast because they have the 800 volt architecture. So we're gonna head towards Electrify America, because that charger is on the map, and it will start the preheating process of this battery, because I want the battery warm when we get to that Tesla charger. And we're gonna go see how fast it charges. But what we really need to do, Andy, is get what? What's my favorite beverage?
We need to go get a Diet Coke from McDonald's.
So we're gonna go get a Diet Coke. And I'll probably have 2 stops at restrooms along the way, because I'm going to drink that darn thing. But that's what we're going to do. I've got the destination set into an Electrify America because when I try to pull up that Tesla charger, it doesn't show up on my EV screen, so it's not going to preheat. So right now I've got this set in. I've got the destination set for a charger. The battery should be pretty warm, but the problem is if we get below 20%, that preheating is going to kick off. And the car, you know, it hasn't been doing all that great for kilowatt hours. It's cold here. It's 33 degrees. So this is not optimal conditions to do this. It's not a nice warm day. It's cold. But we'll give you that same readout I'm showing you now when we get to the charging station, so that you can see what's going on. And you can see, you know, what the temperature is, and then we'll give you a quick picture of what this is like. So without further ado, we're going to head on down the road, get a Diet Coke, and then we're going to make our way right to that Tesla station and the battery's going to be preheated, and it's only 40 miles away. So that should give us enough time to get a fair reading of what a real life test would be like. Again.
So, Bob, my understanding is over the last few years, Tesla and the U.S. government have been working together to make the Tesla stations be able to work with, like, my Audi e-tron. So when I pass a Tesla station today, I am not able to stop and get power. So can you tell me a little bit more about what's going on?
Well, so what's happened is that Tesla can get money from the federal government. My understanding is, if they put these adapters so that they can run on every other car besides Tesla, and that's CCS, right? And so in Colorado, Tesla has already converted or built, one of the two, 5 stations surrounding the state that have this Magic Dock. And the Magic Dock, when I go to that Tesla station, and I've never done it before, it's going to be a first. Theoretically, it'll know that I'm in a non-Tesla, and when I pull out the charging plug, it will allow me to plug in this CCS Magic Dock into my car. And you know, the idea originally was we're going to do that for everything, right? Every dock is going to have it. Well, now it's kind of interesting because since all this, you know, evolution happens so fast in the electric car world, every car company, including VW, is now going to adopt the CCS charging standard. So in some ways, I don't know if it makes sense anymore for Tesla to even continue doing this, because soon every car is going to be having their charging standard. But for now, this is how it works. And the idea was Tesla was starting to do this in parts of the state where there really aren't CCS chargers, or chargers for Volkswagen or Kia or whatever else you're driving besides a Tesla. So what they did was they put them in charging stations where those, you know, there's nothing else there for us to plug into, which really makes sense, right? Because that's when I want to use a Tesla charger, when I can't use my own CCS chargers or Electrify America. So it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Did you want to say something,
I did.
Andy?
So
you know, because I have a tendency when I get the mic, you know,
you're doing great.
It's not good.
It's very
not
informative.
Good. So
I
like this.
Can you
Andy,
tell us about? Oh, sorry.
When you want to talk to me, just nab my shoulder like that. A couple punches to the arm, and we're good. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm in Coffee with Cars with comedians.
We're not that good, Andy.
No, that's true.
No. We won't even pretend.
You keep the acronym CCS.
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
Well, that's a really good question, because it's a combination charger is what it really talks about. So it has both an AC plug and a DC, and you when you plug into it, that's why they call it CCS. But really, that's the name everybody uses. And all you have to think about is it's the plug every other car has except Tesla. That's really what it is. But it's a combination charger. That's what it is. And, you know, for a while, that's what everybody used in Tesla. And I actually thought that someday Tesla was going to have to switch to our standard, because they're losing out on all those cars. Yeah. They can't charge. Well, once again, you know, the history teacher for, 17 years was wrong, predicting the future. Because what happened is that, this is like Betamax and VHS tapes, for those of you who are old enough to know what that is. Many of you don't, because you're under 35. Just like, all of a sudden DVDs came along, and all of a sudden the tape machines went, and then all of a sudden we have streaming, and now nobody has a Blu-ray player that can play those type of discs anymore. And so it's just continuing to progress forward.
I tell a lot of my friends that they'll say, "Oh, can you go charge on a Tesla?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not able to." So think of the Tesla stations as, the Apple. Apples can only charge on the Apple, the Apple cord, and then you've got the other stations out there, the Electrify America, the Charge Point, and those are the Galaxies and the Google and those other phones that can charge on anything.
Exactly, Mr. Danner. That's how it works. That's a very good analogy. And but right now the world's changing again, and pretty soon, it's going to be one standard. Just like Apple got sued in Europe because they kept using their own brand of plug into the phone, and the Europeans were smart enough to say, you can't do that anymore. You're not going to make people buy another. You're all going to use the new standard that's that's out there, and now Apple's changed. So now we have a universal standard when we plug in phones, and doesn't that just make sense?
It's on.
Hey, so we're just about 3.8 miles away. 4 minutes we're going to arrive. And we have only got about 37 miles of fuel left. We are down to 16%, Mr. Andy.
I noticed that.
So we're going to see how fast this thing charges in just a few minutes, and take us a couple minutes to get set up once we get there. But hey, I've never done this before, never been to it, never been to this charging station. So let's hope it all works. So we have arrived at the Tesla charging station. I got Andrew Danner backing up my IONIQ 5. It's a brand new car, so I hope Andy doesn't mess this up. But he's going to stop in time because I showed him how to do it. Keep coming. Keep it coming, Mr. Andy. Come on. Whoa. Good. So, Andy, you have never charged like an IONIQ 5 or anything like that before, right?
I
You've
have
never done
not.
that?
This is the first
So the
time.
way this works, Andy, is you're going to push right there. Go ahead and push that button. All right? And then if this was a normal charger, right, you just pull that out. All right? But there's a little bit of a problem, right? I mean, it's not going to work.
Bob,
So,
how is this going to work?
well, I tell you what, we're gonna get it to work because we have to tell the Tesla charger that we're here, and we have to tell it that we have a different car. So all I'm going to do is go on the app. It's really not that bad. So if I go on the app, all right, and we're going to hit that. All right, so we're going to go on here. So we're at a charger right here. We're going to click in that we have arrived, and we're going to charge here. And then it's asking what post are we at? We're at 2A on the thing. So we're just going to hit 2A, and hopefully this thing will come out. So we got 2A, unlock adapter. So just give it a second. Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. All right. Push the handle into the door lock, then pull it out to remove. Right there we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at this.
So this is a combination charger adapter. So now let's plug it in. All right.
Simple.
All right, so let's just see now. Well, it's simple. Let's see if it's charging.
Let's see if it's
okay.
going to charge.
Well, I'm hoping it does. All right, so we got it in there. We got it going. Did it click?
It did click.
Is there a light on here?
We've got a light.
So you're going to notice with this charger is not like Electrify America. There's nothing on it. It doesn't give you any information. It's all on your phone. That's actually some of the beauty of the Tesla charger, because they don't put all this stuff on that's going to do nothing but create confusion. But let's go back in the car now and see how this is working.
Yeah, let's do it. Wow,
Okay.
impressive.
Okay, so Andrew and I are now charging at the Tesla charger. Normally in the circumstances of if I would have driven this car and we would be down as low in charge as we were, like 13, 14%, and we plugged into a regular charger, Electrify America 350 kilowatt, we would be cruising at about 225 kilowatts right now. But this is a Tesla charger, and it's really not designed natively for 800 volt architecture that our car comes with. That's going to be solved. That'll be fixed. But for right now, when you come to a Tesla charger, you're probably not going to charge quite as fast. So we have started the charging process, plugged it in, and we should have a pretty warm battery. This thing is going right up to 97 kilowatts. So we are starting at 11%, just popped to 12, 97 kilowatts, not bad. So let's just see how that changes by the time I get to 80%. We'll take a look at where I'm at. Hey, so now we're halfway through charging, a little less than that. We're almost at 48%. We are at 48% right here. And we are still charging at 98 kilowatts. So we are just closing in on finishing this charge. We've got 1 minute left. We're at 78%. And this thing started at pretty much 98% after it ramped up in a minute. It stayed that way the entire charge. So I'm going to be ready to go. It took about 32 minutes to do this. And you know what? This is a great way to go, especially when you find chargers in good locations. We're charging faster than most charge point chargers that we would run into around Colorado would charge this car. And, you know, what the important thing, Andy, is this would be like a secondary charger. I mean, if you and I were doing this run today and we needed to charge, we would have just gone to Electrify America, right? First of all, it's free for 2 years for me. So it'd be a lot cheaper than paying 42 cents a kilowatt here. But this is for demonstration purposes. And, you know, the way I'm going to use these Tesla chargers until we get all the software work done is it's a backup, right? I mean, you come from Portland, and there are a lot of Tesla chargers, right?
There are a lot of Tesla chargers.
Right. And so, you know, the more Magic Docks that come in, the more likely it would be that you would be using one of those if you need to, because, you know, we were just talking about the fact that even on the West Coast, when you're going from Portland to Astoria, along a gorgeous coastline, if you haven't been there, there's only 2 Electrify America, so having additional charges would be helpful.
It would, Bob. I've never actually come up to a Tesla charging station because my Audi e-tron doesn't charge on a Tesla. I'm very impressed with how simple this was to do.
Yeah.
It took a little effort. The app made it happen, and we plugged in literally within a minute. Very impressive.
Yeah, and so you know, the point simply is, you know, don't expect to charge as fast. And this is a 250 kilowatt charger. You're not going to charge as fast. And that would get me from one place to the other if I couldn't find an Electrify America that's going to charge at 350 kilowatts, bottom line, and is designed for the architecture of this car. And so that's kind of the way I view it. This is such a positive thing, Andy, to add more stations to your arsenal of stations you can go to is a wonderful thing. And I'm really glad to see all of these companies moving to the NAC standard, the North American Charging Standard that is Tesla, because it's just going to make it easier to drive and own an electric car.
Bob, to me, this is a game changer. You know, I use Electrify America, and the one thing about Electrify America versus what I learned today with this Tesla, it takes a little more time to plug it in to get it up and running. And yes, it is faster, but this is a game changer because this literally took us 1 minute from the time we had the app in, processed the payment, and plugged it in. 1 minute, total game changer for me. I personally would be willing to sacrifice a faster speed for convenience
and reliability.
Yeah. And I got both those today.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
So, hey, once again, thank you for joining the channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you'll subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of effort that goes into this, and money. I always mention that because it's not cheap to run the channel. I really appreciate your support. And so if you've got yourself a VW right now, or a Kia, or you've got yourself a GM, or whatever you're riding, Ford today, go ahead and plug into a Tesla charger that has that Magic Dock. It's worth your time, worth your effort, and it's just going to expand the network. That's the beauty of it. More chargers for people to charge their car. All right, thank you very much. That's a wrap, buddy.